All right. I finished Andor season 2, episodes 4 through 12, and I have to say it won me over. I'm a fan again. I thought it was great. It still took a while to get going, but the last couple batches of episodes, they released 3 at a time, I thought were fantastic. The visual artistry, the tension, and I learned to kind of appreciate some aspects that I was critical of in the first 3 episodes. About the high society soirees and what that had to do with anything. And I kind of knew it was going where it was going, but it was still hard to get through. But I thought they did a great job of portraying that world in turmoil, or the courage that it would take to actually be the person who stands up and says, yeah, actually what we're doing here is not a great thing. It's like the Peep Show or whatever, not Peep Show, David Mitchell and Robert Webb, where they are playing German soldiers and they're like, are we the baddies? That kind of thing. So it really won me over. And I actually can point to a specific moment where Andor turned for me. And it was Saw Gerrera in episode 5 when he gives that speech about Rido. And I just want to read you part of it because it's such a fantastic speech. He's so good, Lawrence Fishburne. Forrest Whitaker. He's so good. And this speech really pulled me in. I was all in after this speech. I'd had trouble getting into it. I started to get into episode 4, and then 5 he makes this speech. Let me just read a little bit of it. Remember this. Remember this moment. This perfect night. You think I'm crazy? Yes, I am. Revolution is not for the sane. Look at us. Unloved, hunted, cannon fodder. We'll all be dead before the Republic is back, and yet here we are. Where are you, boy? You're here. You're not with Luthen. You're here. You're right here. And you're ready to fight. Let it in, boy. That's freedom calling. Let it in. Let it run. Let it run wild. And then the guy screams, at the end because he's breathing in the Rido. And somehow it's not affecting Saw Gerrera. And prior to that moment, he gives a speech about how he grew up, mining this stuff as a kid, and people's clothes were melting off from the radiation. I don't know how he's okay. But it's such a wake-up call, if you were asleep, like I kind of was, to hey, this is real, and this is happening, and these are the facts. They're gonna die. You know what I mean? This really puts the reality, if you can do that, into the situation of saying people are gonna get hurt. This is one of the real moments. I don't want to say human history, but it's kind of, because they're interplanetary, so I don't know. They're not all humans, but you get my point. The seriousness of the moment of the Empire rising, and he's one of those people that he's never going to be in one of those soirees. He's on the front lines. He didn't have a choice in life, really. He's as a child mining this radioactive element for who knows what. And just that you see the dichotomy between the two worlds, but they're all kind of fighting for the same thing. The other thing was that about that moment is that you kind of remember that, oh, these are people acting. I know it sounds stupid, but if you read the script, it doesn't say, and I can't do Saw Gerrera, but it doesn't say you're here, boy, you're right here. But because he, Forrest Whitaker talks like this, but then he does that voice. It doesn't say in the script, do the voice like that. You have to come up with that. So I started having such an appreciation for the character development that was happening, and the mannerisms and all that. And by the time you got to the second to last episode, which is where most of the action takes place, I mean, it's peak, right? And then in the very last episode, they did a really great job of sort of visually, artistically capturing what had happened, almost like a wrap up, but not really. There was like a montage of characters that we had seen throughout the series, and where they ended up. Like one of the Imperial managers, night managers, I don't know what you call them. She was in jail or a holding cell, and then you go through the different people, how they're affected. And the way it was done just really kind of got to me, because I thought, wow, this is done really well, very thoughtful. It's got to be a lot of pressure to be an editor. I'm sure they have a team of people, but to be an editor on a Star Wars project, that's a lot of money for somebody just like cutting scenes, going, I think we should do this. Like that's somebody's job, you know. That's a huge deal, and I thought they did a great job. This whole thing was about handing it off to Andor, right? Or sorry, Rogue One, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Star Wars movies ever made. It's so good, and I can't wait to watch it now that I've finished both seasons, because that was one of the things I appreciated about Rogue One, was that it didn't really mess around. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of fuckery. It was kind of like, this is serious, here we go, nonstop. You get to the point where at the end, you know, it's Darth Vader really mad that someone stole his thumb drive, and he's slashing people in the Rebellion cafeteria, you know, trying to get it back. And you know that that's coming, and you know that as you're watching Andor that this is setting up for that. And I thought it goes together really well. I still think season 1 was a little bit better. For some reason, it just rolled better. Maybe it was because I didn't expect it. But I will tell you this. If I'm the people who are making Mandalorian or whatever is set to be released in the next 6 months, I'd be very nervous, because I don't think you're going to come anywhere near this. And I'm hoping that from this point on, and I don't know how many more Star Wars things we need, to be honest. But if you're going to make something and you haven't started shooting yet in the Star Wars world, this is the bar. You don't go below this, right? There's a great moment in the Ken Burns documentary where this musicologist is saying, like, people used to sing like in the early 1900s, like, I love you, you love me. And then Louis Armstrong comes along and does something cool. And you don't go back to that cheesy, I love you, you know, you changed. This Andor series changes what Disney or Star Wars does series-wise. And again, I don't think we need, you know, maybe, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Like, I'm not someone who's gonna get pulled in. I got fooled on Obi-Wan Kenobi a little bit, which I thought was terrible. And Mandalorian, not great. This, I think, was great. So I highly recommend it, but I'd love to know what you think. Did you enjoy it? Did you think that it compared to season 1 at all? Do you think it was a great build-up to Rogue One? Let me hear it. I can't wait to watch Rogue One. I'll probably watch it this weekend. Good stuff.